Hello everybody, welcome to my first grade 11 past paper video. I'm very excited about this. I've done loads of grade 12 videos but no grade 11 videos. So I found a copy of the Limpopo June 2022 exam and I saw this question. I thought it's a nice one to do with you. So for 1.2 they have given us the equation of f of x. It's 5x squared plus 6x minus 7, and now they are saying for the first question we need to solve for x if f of x is 0. So basically if this whole equation, or this whole expression rather, is equal to 0, which is what I've written down, they want us to solve for x. Now guys, what they're telling us here by saying that we have to give our answers correct to 2 decimal places, that is a dead giveaway that we are going to have to use the quadratic formula. Whenever we see that in the instructions to a specific question, then we should know immediately that we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. Now this formula is on the formula sheet when you are in grade 12, but many schools don't give a formula sheet in grade 11. So in that case, you would have to know this formula off by heart. So it is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now in our equation, a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is our constant term, the term that does not have an x attached to it. So we are going to say negative 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared is going to be 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is negative 7. Very important to include the sign in front of that number. Then that is all over 2a, which is going to be 2 times 5. You would then type this into the calculator and you will get two answers. The first one, now the calculator does give it in surd form, so you have to press SD and you will get 0,73. Or the other answer that you would get, now this first answer you get when you type a plus into the calculator. Then you need to change your plus to a minus, and the answer that you will then get is negative 1,93. Now that is worth 4 marks. You will get a mark for knowing your quadratic formula, for substituting into the formula, and then 1 mark for each of your answers. There you have your 4 marks. Now the next part of this question is where it gets a little bit difficult. So now they are saying, hence or otherwise, calculate the value of d for which 5x squared plus 6x minus d equals 0 has equal roots. For a quadratic equation to have equal roots, your delta, your discriminant, has to be equal to 0. So that is actually what I'm going to write down as my first step. My discriminant or delta needs to be equal to 0, and we have a formula for that, b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. They want us to figure out what this value needs to be for this equation to have two roots that are essentially the same number. So when we were to, if we are to factorize this, that we are getting two of the same brackets. So our b value, again, just like at the top, a is the coefficient of x squared, b the coefficient of x, and c is now going to be negative d. So let's sub those values in. 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is negative d, and that is equal to 0. Now we can work this out. We are getting 36, and then we have two minuses here, so that's going to give us plus 20d equal to 0. We're going to have to solve for d, so we need to move that 36 over to the other side. Or actually what we're doing is we are subtracting 36 from both sides, and now we are going to just work that out. 36 over 20 is going to give us 9 over 5, but it has to be negative 9 over 5. So that is the answer for d. So when our d value is negative 9 over 5, we will have equal roots from this equation. So this counts 3 marks. So you will get a mark for putting your discriminant equal to 0, for substituting the values into your discriminant, and then for actually calculating d.